Back in May, I started playing a 17-year-old game, Team Fortress 2, and it got me thinking, since this is definitely my new favorite first-person shooter game, what if the biggest media company in the world collabed with the funniest first-person shooter? What if every single character in Team Fortress 2 was replaced with a Pokemon? There are 9 characters in the game that you can choose from, each having their own unique weapons and talents. So today, we're asking the question, which Pokemon would represent each TF2 class? Here we go. First up, we got the Scout. The Scout is the fastest class, so I chose one of the fastest Pokemon of all time, Deoxys. Even in its regular form, it has a speed stat of 150. And I think it looks a little bit better than its speed form anyway. And for each of the Pokemon, I will choose a ranged attack and a melee attack. So I could see Deoxys shooting out like purple psychic energy from its gem in the center, like Scout shoots the scattergun bullets. And for a melee attack, he would have a bat. The same bat that the Scout uses, actually. Because you know the saying of like hitting a baseball all the way to the moon. And Deoxys comes from space, so that makes sense. Next up, we have the Soldier, who is represented by Magmortar. Magmortar is the blast Pokemon, and the Soldier is all about shooting rockets, so it's a perfect combination. And for a melee attack, since Magmortar's counterpart is an electric type, Electivire, I chose maybe he can come up close and personal and whack other players with an electric racket. I mean, come on, you all saw this coming, right? If Game Freak were to make their own version of Team Fortress 2, you already know Charizard would be playable. And Pyro makes the perfect sense. Pyro attacks with a flamethrower, Charizard breathes fire. Pyro has an axe, and Charizard can attack with his sharp claws. A match made in heaven. Or hell, because it's fire. For the Demo Man, I chose Electrode. Look at them, they have the same smile. And before you say, Electrode doesn't have any arms or legs, it's Pokemon. It doesn't have to make sense, they can do whatever they want. So Electrode would carry a grenade launcher, like Demo Man, but instead of shooting out grenades, it shoots out Voltorbs. How cool would that be? And I know, how funny would it be to have Electrode roll around with a sword on top of him? Just like the Demo Man charges at you with a sword, that would be super funny. And maybe even add a self-destructing move for Electrode, just to piss other people off. We had Charizard for Pyro, so obviously we need to have Blastoise for Heavy. It makes perfect sense. Blastoise has machine guns on the back of his shell. He can shoot water in both directions, and he would have the most HP out of all the Pokemon in the game. For his melee attack, I had a hard time coming up with this, but maybe he can bonk other players on the head with a Squirtle shell. For the Engineer, I chose Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr and its 2 pre-evolutions hold items that you need for construction. So, that makes perfect sense to be a builder, but I don't know how he would build a sentry gun. Maybe he'll build like a stone catapult or like a trap where you step on a switch and then rocks fall on you. That would be kind of cool. For ranged attack, I chose a shotgun, the same one that the Engineer uses, and for his melee attack, there's 2 really big stone pillars that he can use to swing them around. This one is super obvious. The medic would be represented by Blissey. Blissey and Chansey are the Pokemon that you see in the Pokemon Center. Blissey would have 2 ways to heal her allies. One way is using the medic gun, same way the medic uses, and she would also be able to drop eggs around the map for other players to eat when they're in trouble. And for a melee attack, since she literally is an egg, give her the frying pan. Although I hate the design of this Pokemon, Inteleon would be the perfect Pokemon to represent the Sniper. His signature move is Snipe Shot, and his Gigantamax form is awesome. It's literally a sniper tower. And for a melee attack, just like the Sniper, we'll give him the Kukri knife. And finally is the Spy, and this has to be the most obvious pick on this list. It's Zoroark. Zoroark's ability is Illusion, where it disguises itself as the last Pokemon in the party. So Zoroark would work the same way the spy does. He disguises himself as anyone, and then, boom, he reveals himself and then attacks with either his dark attacks like Dark Pulse or Shadow Ball or Night Days, or melee attack with the knife. Zoroark is super cool. And also, plug, make sure you watch Super Smash Plus Remastered before the series.